Hi, and thank you for watching TargetedWest.com. This is DJ Chris. The opinions of our guests are that of their own and not that of Targeted West or DJ Chris. Today is the 9th of February, 2025. This is show number 151. And tonight we have Frank S. with us from TargetedTechTalk.com. And he'll be talking with us about some of his plans for 2025. We're a peaceful work group. I get V2K for 23 years, and I used to go on the calls and could never get a word in, so I decided to do my own so I can get a word in. And sometimes I still don't get a word in, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, it's 52 degrees here in beautiful Lodi, California. I'm in my trusty camper, and it's Super Bowl Sunday, and it looks like one team's winning really way ahead, so I don't know who. I didn't pay attention. Anyway, without further ado, we have with us Frank S. Hello, Frank. How are you tonight? Come on in. There you go.
Hey, DJ Chris. Good to be on the show with you today.
Good. I'm glad to have you on. You were here before, and a lot of people asked questions about you, wanted to have you come back on again. So I'm glad that you were able to drop by tonight for a more technical session. Frank's the one to go to. I'm a retired tech worker from Silicon Valley, but I've lost a lot of my skills, and Frank's got all the new skills, so he knows what's going on. So I commend him for that. And he's going to talk to you a little about different technologies and such. First, we want to ask you about your bio. Can you give us a little background on your bio and your tech background and such?
Yep, absolutely. So I'm a targeted individual myself. I've been in the tech space pretty much my whole professional career. So I've got more than 2 decades experience as a software engineer. I've got a bachelor's degree in computer science, and I am currently wrapping up a master's degree in artificial intelligence. So I'm planning to schedule to graduate in June coming up here. So that's certainly a milestone I'm looking forward to.
Congratulations.
Yep, definitely, especially being targeted, but education is definitely something that's positive and can be a stepping stone for us in the TI community. So I've got certifications in cloud architecture, networking, and cybersecurity, and I run the website TargetedTechTalk.com.
Very good. And you're with us tonight. I believe you also get V2K, is that correct?
I get some audio targeting. I wouldn't say V2K, but I do get energy weapons and gang stalking as part of my targeting.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, great. No, not great, but good to know that you're not getting too much V2K. It's a terrible thing. I've had it for 23 years. But I've become a survivor to it and keep going on. I know a lot of people listen to this call and watch it on their favorite platform. So if you're on Spotify or our new Rumble platform, or you're on YouTube or BitChute or Archive, please like, subscribe, and make a comment, please. It helps the algorithm. Let's see, what's next? You were talking about OpenSense, OPN Sense. Is this something you can talk about right now, about some new technology for home, for computers and such? What's that all about?
Right. So this is the technology I started researching associated with the website. It looks pretty promising in terms of its potential for securing a home network environment. So basically, and I have a little example here of what one of these looks like. So this is a basically a network appliance mini PC, and you can install a program based on FreeBSD called OpenSense. And basically, you can get the hardware for as cheap as around $80 or so. It's just basically a router that you build on your own. There's the equivalent of a kind of a small PC inside of it. So it's got a RAM and it's got a hard drive, and you can install this program, OpenSense, which is fairly promising. And I've been doing some research on that, and I've written up one article on that. I'm going to continue to kind of research that and provide some additional content on my website. Could be additional articles or perhaps an ebook. So kind of the background with this software is it kind of gives you beyond consumer grade security for your home network. So you're able to install this program. It's primarily used in home networks, basically for network enthusiasts. It's used in some smaller corporate environments, education, and other spaces like that. Basically, it is a very advanced kind of firewall type device. So for the software is completely free. So for the price of one of these network appliances, which can go as low as $80, you can have this advanced firewall set up in your home environment. And in technical terms, what this delivers is a firewall, intrusion detection, and intrusion prevention. The device itself has antivirus on it. So intrusion protection is actually quite nice because that can detect things that don't show up in an antivirus, just based on the behavior of the network. So with zero-day malware exploits, an intrusion protection system can detect and compensate for that. So even if it's a completely unknown thing, traffic in or out can be captured. So really the only barrier to wider adoption here is it's a little bit technical to set up. So I think by putting together some good documentation and some step-by-steps and recommended configurations, we would be able to, potentially deliver this as something, kind of point people to the hardware and give them step-by-step.
Do you need to know BSD to operate it, or is it all intuitive?
It has a web interface. So aside from the initial installation, which is kind of a wizard, stepping you through the installation process is kind of a character-based screen in FreeBSD. After that, it's pretty much all a web-based interface. So it's not too different from logging into your home router, just additional options to configure. So with this solution, it does I think it holds a fair bit of potential in terms of protecting a home network after you do the initial sort of setup of, setting up the device and configuring it. It does look quite promising in terms of what it can deliver, and it's pretty reasonable at a $80 hardware price point. So that'll be one of the things that's kind of future content as well coming on the website. So look for additional articles and perhaps even an ebook with the steps on how to install that. That should be coming in the future.
Great, I'll put that in the notes. Does OpenSense have a website? I would assume opensense.com or what?
Yes. Yep. Let me pull that up. I think it might be a .org. Let me check that.
Gotcha.
Yep, .org. OPNSENSE.org.
Very good for the listeners.
Yep. So that's free download. You might want to wait for the full guide because it is a little bit on the technical side for sure. There's a lot of steps. So hopefully the guides kind of reduce the complexity of that, kind of give you the step-by-step to make that a little more accessible. If you try to kind of install it on your own, it can be a little bit intimidating. So that's really the only disadvantage. It's quite powerful software. The hardware you can get is as cheap as $80. You can even use an old PC if you'd like, but I would probably recommend the $80 device if you can get it. And the additional guides and details should be coming in the future.
Gotcha. Okay, well, next topic, number 3, is topics on your website. You've updated it. You've got white pages and such. Can you tell us more about Targeted Tech Talk, targetedtechtalk.com, please? Thank you.
Yep. So the website, I published some content. One of the features is a checklist. So kind of common steps you would take to secure your home environment, protect your privacy, secure your finances, that kind of thing. So there's a checklist there, which is updated as I develop new recommendations, things like VPN and firewalls and protection like RFID shielded wallets and that kind of thing. So there's basically a checklist page with the details there. So basically, I kind of define the site. The objective of the site and my work is really about trying to enable TIs for successful technology use. So making everyone successful. I have some content there about cybersecurity, some other things about privacy, some educational content about artificial intelligence and general computing topics. But big picture, I would say I'm focused on, making sure everyone here has access to some technical expertise and is successful with the technology that they're looking to use. So folks can contact me through the website if they'd like. I don't charge anything for TIs for consultation or support. And if anyone is experiencing cybersecurity issues or has a small technical project that they want to do, you're free to kind of contact me and through the website. The info is there. I've got a Proton Mail account, Targeted Tech Talk at protonmail.com, as well as a Twitter x.com account with some bonus content.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's targetedtechtalk.com, and then you're on X, of course. I see you on there. Next, number 4 is ebook. You were talking to me about doing a mobile security ebook about mobile security for TIs. What's going on with that?
Right. So I've got a couple of ebooks in progress. That would be the main one coming up. Kind of the feedback that I've heard, after the first round of doing shows and responding to questions, kind of the 2 big categories of questions or feedback was, number 1, securing the home network after you've done the basics like disabling Wi-Fi, setting up your firewall and that kind of stuff. It's, you continue to have issues after that. What next? So I think the what next there would be OpenSense. So that, that solution monitors inbound and outbound traffic. So, and is basically the intrusion protection system is basically a friendly AI on your side that lives inside the box. So it's detecting activity and responding to that. So that was the first set of questions. And the second set of questions was around mobile phone security. I think a lot of us as TIs have experienced phone issues. I would set expectations that there's no perfect solutions for that, but I'm writing an ebook basically outlining all the steps that you can take proactively to secure your device. So you can do things like what the term is called hardening. So by disabling unused features such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, near-field communication on your phone, then attackers cannot use those against you. You can also do things like uninstalling unused applications. So minimizing the applications. If you do need to use something, install it at that point versus keeping, a large collection of applications on your phone. Attackers can exploit your operating system as well as individual applications. So basically by turning off the stuff you don't need, you're able to, what is known as device hardening, make your device harder to hack. So that'd be an example of a few things. I think on my previous visit, I talked a little bit about VPN. You can use that on your phone as well as your computer. On the phone,
you talk about the TargetedWest VPN and using a different server to go off of. Yeah, Swedish server, I believe.
Yeah, Switzerland. If you have the paid version, you can do Switzerland. The free version, I think you can do U.S. and Netherlands, and a couple other free regions. But VPN is good also in terms of security. So it helps protect your privacy, ensuring that you have an end-to-end encrypted tunnel. It's also good as far as security because, especially on your phone, that VPN is going to have anti-malware built into it. So if you accidentally click on something or something gets, you attempt to download something, in a lot of cases with that VPN active, that will be blocked through the VPN. So that would be one good item to have. Other items we've researched as far as phone security, one of the big vectors for attacks on your phone and hacking is SMS messages. So SMS was basically used for the way to get in or compromise a phone for some advanced spyware such as Pegasus that used SMS messages as a way to get into your phone, even without you even opening the message. Pegasus gets on your phone. So there's some recommended security software that you can purchase if you're concerned about spyware. There's a couple options. There's one option if you're just kind of looking to do a one-time scan. I've got a link on my website under the links section, which takes the user through a wiki how-to article on how to scan for Pegasus and spyware on your phone. So you can do a one-time scan. Is free. I think it's a little bit easier to do on iOS as an app. Android, I think there's some additional steps, but you can do it for free with that article. If you'd like more ongoing protection, I recommend a security program called Bitdefender, and there's a couple alternatives such as Malwarebytes. I think I may have mentioned that last time. My top pick is Bitdefender. On phones, it includes a feature called an SMS filter. So as SMS messages come in, they kind of go through the screening process where before it hits your phone, it gets screened for that kind of thing. Bitdefender specifically advertises that it will stop Pegasus. So I think it's one of the few that kind of publicly disclose that they're able to stop it. So if you're concerned about phone security, that's another good option. There's alternative programs that also do SMS filtering. Malwarebytes is kind of the runner-up. With Bitdefender, you can also get that as a firewall on your PC and anti-malware. So if you get a license, you get like 5 devices. Your phone is one, your PC is one. You can get a couple other devices covered under a license as well. So if you're looking for a paid option, that's a good one. Otherwise, I have links to the wiki article under my links section on my website where you can do the scan for spyware and Pegasus for free. So that's that's a few things that'll be in the book as well. So um, I'll say it's talked about device hardening, VPN. With phone security, it's really hard to make a guarantee, um, but we can give you every step that you can take proactively to secure your device, which is really what you have control over. People can still send you kind of spoofed messages or something. That's not a problem with your phone. Your phone just being on the network, somebody can leave you a voicemail that's suspicious or can send you a message. So, um, you still have to be aware of phishing and those kind of attacks. And with voicemail, I think it's called vishing or something like that. Voicemail spoofing, they can even do voice cloning, um, do some advanced stuff. So you still have to be on your toes about phone security, but I'll be working on that ebook, and that should be available on my site within the next month or two, and that will kind of step you through the different steps that you can do for that.
Okay, very good. How about number 5, the last question for this session? Webinars this summer, you were talking about AI concepts and building websites this summer. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically as I'm wrapping up my degree, I'm planning to start offering periodically some webinars, just kind of open calls for the community for various technical topics. So some of the things that could be topics for those webinars could include security awareness training. So there's kind of general security awareness training that's out there. I think there's a few things that can be customized for the TI community to make that more impactful and valuable for us. So that's a potential topic. Another topic could be getting started with website design. If you have a TI-focused website you're looking to get started with, there are some options such as GoDaddy and Wix that have website designers that are pretty straightforward to use, and so the webinar can kind of show the use of some of those tools just to kind of introduce that for folks, step them through really how easy it is to set up a website. These days, those design tools are pretty straightforward. So other TIs, if you have ideas for a website and you're looking to move forward, that would be something I'm kind of would offer a webinar for, to give you some direction, some hands-on labs about how you can set up a website and kind of walk through a couple examples. I think Wix is probably a good one. Pretty simple to use and intuitive interface, and you can, I believe there's some free options. You can just kind of experiment with things like that. So
I use GoDaddy. I used to program my own websites in the 90s, and now I just do the intuitive stuff and let it help me. So I don't mind.
Yeah, definitely there's a good, there's quite a bit you can do. There's quite a lot of features you can get out of the box with the website designers. And I think some of the, perhaps some of the hesitation is that folks really don't know just how easy it is to do. If you can do a Word document these days, you can make a website. So if you have information you'd like to get out there and share with the community, do a blog, do a website, really it's never been easier to do that. So probably that's going to be the topic of one of the webinars, kind of getting started with that. Other possible webinar topics could include some artificial intelligence training and demos, just kind of from scratch, introducing some of the concepts. I have some articles on my website currently that explain some of the basics of AI. So just kind of as a regular non-technical person, kind of what you need to know, because I think it's valuable for the the TI community members to be familiar with the basic concepts and to use the right terminology and to kind of have the right expectations about what the technology is and is not, so that you can have some more informed discussions with the correct terminology and kind of present yourself better to an external audience by being informed about AI. So we're not trying to make people AI experts, but it's just sort of introducing the concepts, probably some labs, some demos of the different things you can do with AI that I've put together. So, and then other topics could include, different types of tech supports or cybersecurity Q&A or things like that.
Got you. Matter of fact, if you can see, there's someone coloring right now. If you can see that, that is the coloring book I created, and I used AI to help me make it.
There you go.
You'd be surprised what you can do with AI. Yeah, I'm working on a second coloring book right now. So, okay, well, we need to play a little message from our friends at CyberShield, and we'll be right back in just a moment. So my co-producer who's on the floor here is giving me a message. So here we go with a message from CyberShield, and that of course, you can go to cybershieldinfo.com to find out more and leave a message if you'd like.
Do you have a box of worthless shielding material that doesn't work? Have you paid professionals only to come out on the short end of the stick? Well, your life is about to change. Visit cybershieldinfo.com to crack the code on a shielding device that actually works. The CyberShield is a computer that fights the perps with a dose of crack code. Would you like to have an in-person demonstration of the CyberShield? Come to the San Francisco Bay Area and Silicon Valley for a free demo. Get your CyberShield at cybershieldinfo.com. That's cybershieldinfo.com, and change your life.
Thank you, Jax, for that. That's cybershieldinfo.com. Now back to our conversation with Frank S. Is there anything else you would like to cover before we go to Q&A mode, which is in a couple of minutes?
Let's see. I think that's a lot of it. I do have a CyberShield myself, and I know you've had Armando on the show in the past for the Silent Night, so I have both of those products. They're for me, they're both pretty valuable. CyberShields definitely works. Yep. Other contents. Let's see here. I think, yeah, folks can just kind of check out the website. I usually do articles every week or two. One of the recent articles, there's something kind of in the cybersecurity enthusiast community. Right now they're working, it's kind of a popular topic, little computers called LoRa, long-range radio communication. Basically for like a $25 little chip and antenna, you can get something that's kind of a standalone device that can communicate with its paired counterparts, I think up to 5 to 10 miles away, and it's encrypted off-grid communication. So it's a private key is on each of the transmitters, and it's like a $25 chip for the small one, and it can go 5 to 10 miles, and it's encrypted off-grid communication. So that's interesting to think about as kind of we have our preconceptions about, the different communications that are going on. Definitely encrypted off-grid communications is a thing that could be valuable for TIs kind of organizing stuff locally. It's since it's encrypted, it's not like an open channel that others can hear. It's set up with a key, so it's also interesting to kind of think about that in the context of the larger targeting program. And is stuff like that in use? The military definitely has similar technology. and within the intelligence community. So as we kind of think about, make assumptions about things, it's good to kind of have some situational awareness about some of the technology that's out there. But LoRa radios, that's pretty popular with cybersecurity enthusiasts right now. So you know, if you do searches or something for that, it's called LoRa, long range radio, and it's pretty cheap and highly secure, and it's kind of is a good thing to think about and increase your situational awareness about some of these different technologies.
Very interesting. I'm sure there's websites that talk about it and all sorts of places to get the technology. Great. We'll see what time it is now. Well, it's 6:30. We're a little bit early for Q&A mode, but that's okay. We can go into Q&A mode and see what people have to say. How's that sound?
Yep, sounds good.
I remember last time the Q&A mode was a long time because people had a lot of technical questions, so here we go. Try not to be too long and technical. Try to be brief with your questions for Frank. Here we go. Okay, *6 if you want to ask a question. Our first question is from Tranquility. You had a question for Frank.
Yes, hi. Can you all hear me okay?
I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Hi, Frank. I've really enjoyed your presentation today. I do have a question for you and a comment. The first question, or the question that I have, is I've heard a lot of discussion among TIs about the unplugged phones and their potential privacy benefits. Can you please explain what makes these phones unique and whether you'd recommend them?
Excellent question. I'm pretty familiar with that one. I have researched that. So the promise with the phone is that it is kind of encrypted and has its own set of special hardware where everything goes through applications on its own. So on paper, kind of what they're selling is a more secure version of the phone where you know, everything's through apps, everything is encrypted, where it can potentially deliver some additional benefits. Would I recommend it? No. Basically, for me, it's kind of got two strikes. It's everyone is kind of free to research this on their own. I would say the main thing is kind of ownership. For me, kind of two things would be ownership and then reviews within the security community. So the guy who owns a phone or Unpluggable is the guy who was the founder for the Blackwater military contractors. So personally, I wouldn't give him my data. It's more secure. So that's the owner. So yep, Eric Prince. So that's the first thing. The other thing, I think I have a link on my Twitter account to some reviews with of the phone from MIT Technology Review, and they kind of go through the points of what the claims versus the reality. So I can provide some links to that in the chat as well.
Okay. So if you don't highly recommend that, I know there's like a Brax phone that's considered a de-Googled phone. Do you recommend that, or is there some other type of phone that you would recommend? I hear people saying phones that operate on the Graphene OS is very good for us, but I'd like to know your recommendations.
Yeah, Graphene could be a decent option. Honestly, I think the mainstream ones are pretty good. iOS and Android. I think iOS is probably a little bit more secure than Android at this point because of the stringency around the App Store. If you had an Android, they're a little less kind of strict about what goes through the App Store. So there's the potential there is a little shaky. Graphene, I think, is a good operating system. It is potentially more secure than Android. Um, it has the downside of there might be some application compatibility because it's a little bit more locked down and that kind of thing. Um, so for a general TI audience, I mean, I would say, iOS or Android is good choices, and just kind of go through the checklist of use a VPN, make sure you're up to date with updates, and turn off unused services. And if you were using a VPN and apps, that would be as secure as the promise of a phone. If you're on one of these, and then just be mindful about not saving your password to iCloud or Google Cloud, and details like that. I think graphene is a good option. I don't think there's anything wrong with graphene. If you want to go an extra mile, I think graphene could be an option for folks.
Okay, awesome. And then I just wanted to say I'm really excited to hear that you have webinars coming up. And, I want to advertise it for you at TI events. So make sure you reach out when you get them planned.
Yep, will do.
All right. And everybody here is my witness that TI events will be advertising it for you. So thank you for answering the questions. Yep. Thank you.
TIevents.org is the phone book of the TI community. I know it sounds corny, but it's true. They're the de facto standard where you go for everything. Oh, what a great interview. Anyone else have a question for Frank, technical or such? Come on in.
I have a question.
Yes.
Since becoming a TI, I have some weird kind of virus on my laptop. I'm not very techy though. Is there a good antivirus that you recommend as a targeted individual?
Yes. So I think there's two things to think about. If you're just kind of looking for kind of a one-time scan it and clean it, a program called Malware Bytes, you can get a free version, and you can always do the free scans with that. So I would recommend one of these programs that they call anti-malware versus just an antivirus. An anti-malware is going to cover a wider range. So as a TI, if you want a good free option for even after the trial, the Malware Bytes, you can do the scan to find stuff on your PC or Mac. So Malware Bytes is a good option to do an initial scan and clean off anything that's on there. If you want a good pick longer term, I think I mentioned Bitdefender. Right now, that's kind of my top pick. That is kind of an annual license. You can get it for as cheap as $50-$60 per year when it's on sale. I think the full price is around $100 per year. So that is a little bit more, but that thing covers you for 5 devices. So you can put that on your phone as well as your PC. But a good option if you're just kind of looking for kind of a freebie to clean off your PC would be Malware Bytes. And you can always do the free scan. It's just that it doesn't stay in memory and protect you. You have to periodically run the scanner to check and remove that. But that's Malware Bytes.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Next question for Frank S., technical guy, our guru here at TargetedWest, coming to visit us. Come on in. Anybody else have a question for Frank S.? Come on in. Well, they're awfully shy tonight. Well, we covered pretty much everything as far as I can imagine in our conversations via email. So we've been very thorough. And I'm glad you're here. Does anybody else have a question for Frank S. before we switch into open mic? Oh, come on in. Hello.
Yeah. Hi. This is Kim. Yeah, I was wondering. I feel like I'm not at his level. I know the expertise that he talked about. Are they going to have like a beginning level for like someone who doesn't really understand this stuff? Will he think of having classes like that? I'd love to ask questions, but I just don't understand all what he's talking about. Because I have a dinosaur phone for one thing. I'm older, so I'm not up on the new stuff. Would you possibly be having beginner classes for like someone who's really not up to, well, not current with everything, if that's a nice way to put it?
Yeah, I think so. So probably something like a security awareness class basically starts from the ground floor and kind of introduces the terminology and the different types of software and the different things that you can do. So yeah, I think my objective is to try to make all the webinars as accessible and kind of accessible to a wide audience as possible. And then certain topics we can probably get into with the general tech support sessions, or if you have specific questions, you can contact me through the website, that kind of stuff. But yeah, my objective is for most of the webinars to kind of make them pretty accessible to an open audience. Some of them, like the AI, might get a little more advanced. Just we have different types of folks within the TI community that might be a little more advanced, but I think most of them would be pretty accessible. Is kind of my goal.
Well, that's awesome. All right, and I never got your website. I guess I got on the call just a little late. Could I have the website that you
sure.
or where I can get hold of you?
Yep, absolutely. So that's targetedtechtalk.com. And there's a contact tab with the email and a link to the x.com Twitter account.
TargetedTechTalk.com.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Next question in line for Frank S. Come on in.
Could I ask a question or?
Yes, go ahead. Come on in.
Hi there. How are you? How are you, Frank? That's
hey
not
there.
my question.
Okay, good.
I want to know how you are. Okay. I'm having trouble with my smart TV. I think the perpetrators have something to do with it because I've had a few months with it without this problem, and now it's back. So I guess I'm being punished for who knows what, So I was wondering what they do. How do they unhook the volume with the remote so I can because when I pair it, it says that it's paired, but then it doesn't. I can't use the volume. I can use everything else on the remote. And what I'm using is not the remote for the smart TV. I'm using a remote that helps me watch, YouTube on my TV or listen to. So I went to this, just to give you a little more background, I went to the smart TV website, and it said that, that's the reason why you have this volume problem is because you're not using our remote. And you know what? Both remotes don't work. So. But this is just something that, from time to time, so perps like to, play with things that I enjoy. So I was wondering if you had any ideas on that, if you had any trouble like that.
One follow-up question is the smart TVs, is that a network connected where it'll go over the internet for content or connect to your home network, or is it kind of a standalone?
It might. I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think of it
I don't think of it as a standalone. Well, look, it's a smart TV, so it connects to the internet, so I can watch YouTube. So I'm assuming that I do for YouTube, just for like because I like so many different types of videos. I do log in using my, but I logged out of my account, my Gmail account on to see if it would change, and that didn't help. I tried everything. Okay, so that's a good question, though. I assume that it's everything is being used to hurt me. So
yeah. So I mean, a good question. I mean, a smart TV is basically just another kind of computer. So instead of a regular monitor, it's got the full screen. If you've got network connectivity, it's connected to your network just like your other computers. Except unfortunately, a smart TV usually doesn't have something like antivirus. So it doesn't have as much protection as your own computer. And typically smart TVs usually run a version of something of Linux or Android, something like that, which is open source, and there's common exploits to it. So yeah, I mean, the answer is they can get to it because it's just a computer. So anything on the network can be hacked into for sure. I think there was one incident a few years back with the retail chain Target, and they actually got compromised customers' credit card information because somebody hacked into the HVAC system and got onto their network that way. So their air conditioning had an internet connection for some computer and some updates. Somebody hacked into that, got into their credit card system through that. So yeah, a smart TV is just a computer. That's how they can get in.
Yeah, it really sucks. Okay, so I do have a VPN. I asked the VPN company if I could connect it to my TV, and they said, well, there's you would need some kind of cable, and I'm like, I do have HDMI cable, but they didn't. I mean, it doesn't read. I mean, it's kind of silly. I did actually connect the TV to the computer to try to see if I could have VPN on the TV, and that was a funny story. And then I'll leave you. I had the keyboard, and I used the keyboard to type in a video I want to watch. And as I was typing in the letters, I also heard the same sound of the keyboard next door. So it was like my neighbors were watching me type onto my TV. And they heard the keyboard stroke. Anyway, so just shows you how invasive this TV is.
Yeah, so I guess you can kind of do an internet search for securing your smart TV. Might come up with some hits. So they suggest things like keeping your system up to date. So if there's an option under settings for update systems, so you get the latest security fixes, that kind of thing. Only installing trusted applications, things like that. So you can do a bit of research. But yeah, basically they can hack in because it's just a regular computer. So getting those updates and only running trusted applications and securing your accounts, I think that's kind of and changing default passwords would be another thing. So if your device has a default login.
I'm just going to ask you, should I change my password for my modem? Because that's one of the things that even the internet company recommended, and then they took it away. Then they was like it didn't exist. Like they were like anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I will try a few things. I just find with passwords, I have to write it down, and I'm being stalked, so writing things down kind of bites me in the butt, So, but that's the only way I'm going to remember it. So, I just figured that they'll get tired of me looking up my password each time, and that's true. That has happened. That they doesn't matter to them that I have that if I write down the password, if I don't, so I might as well write it down.
Well, thank you for that, Minnie, for your question. Does anybody else have a question for Frank S? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we're going to go to the book club now. Frank will be here after the book club for a couple minutes, I'm sure, if you have more questions. Tonight we're talking about 2 books, and I just want to play a quick intro so that you know more about the book club so you can sign up. And wouldn't that be cool to sign up to a book club? The only book club in the TI community is right here with TI events.
It's time for the TI Book Club, where every book opens a door to new worlds and shared journeys. Here, we uncover hidden gems, specially selected for TIs, and always within your reach. Be part of a community that reads together, grows together, and sees the world through the same lens. Don't just listen to stories, live them with us. Join now at bookclubs.com/TI-bookclub/join, and let's turn the pages of adventure together.
And like I said, TIEvents.org under featured events puts the book club update every week. And both Frank and I were talking about a book together we both like, and it's No Place to Hide by Glenn Greenwald about Snowden. And it's an interesting book. I got to read more about it, how reluctant the lawyers were to allow all the media to even post the articles that Glenn got from Snowden, and basically made it so it was very hard to get the information out. But they finally did reluctantly, and the rest was history. And then they did an article about prison. So what did you think about the book, Frank?
Yeah, that was that was definitely an interesting read. I think one of the things I recommend is kind of doing reading and education outside of strictly TI subject matter. So this was kind of a good general book. Definitely gives you a lot of insights into the intelligence community, how they think, how these programs operated, how the kind of the abuses of privacy that were involved with that. And also highlights the fact that the only one who was, made a criminal was the whistleblower. So definitely some food for thought there, that all this happened, and violations of the Constitution of the United States against privacy, and the only criminal was the whistleblower here. So definitely some good food for thought. I think it was an interesting read. And it's a lot of insights into the process, so I found it pretty valuable. Definitely recommend that for the audience here.
I do, and a lot of people in the book club. We had it in the book club for about a year. Great read, and I read some of it again. The second book, I don't think Frank read this, but it's The Genesis of Modern Globalization. 1978-1979, about the Trilateral Commission, how they changed the world. That's written by Anthony Sutton and Patrick Wood. That's our book of the week. I'm reading it now. And it's basically about I didn't get this book until after Carter died out of respect, but the Trilaterals were pretty much controlling that whole administration. A lot of things changed during that administration. They made a lot of changes for the future, which is now playing out. So that's an interesting book. We gave it an 8. And Patrick Wood has Technocracy Now! News, I believe. So it's a really good website to check out. But anyway, that's your book club. Let's see what time it is now. We do have one more quick message. Like I mentioned, TI Events is your place to go. Where else would you go for a call without going to TI Events? That is the place to go, for sure. Check it out.
Welcome to TIEvents.org, your official insider for the targeted individual community. As the go-to source for all TI events, we're here to keep you in the loop with the latest and greatest happenings. Discover daily conference calls, meetups, and exclusive events across the USA, all at your fingertips. Plus, planning a TI event? Advertise with us for free and connect directly with the TI community. TIEvents.org is not just a website. It's your gateway to a world of information, connection, and empowerment for TIs everywhere. TIEvents.org, your official insider. Dive in and discover today.
Any website, any information, any event, any conference, any webinar, anything is there. Check it out. TIEvents.org. It is top of the hour. We'll keep recording for a couple more minutes. Anything else, Frank, you'd like to talk about, or does anyone have a question for Frank?
I got a question.
Yes, come in, Deb K.
I don't use a where's my remote? I gotta turn my TV down. I don't use a Wi-Fi system for my internet. I use my hotspot, and it's a lot cheaper than a Wi-Fi. And I can't handle the Wi-Fi anyway because it messes with me. You know, I get targeted more. I don't know what it is. It burns me. It does things. So when on my smart TV, when I want to watch YouTube or whatever, I turn my hotspot on my phone, and then I go to the apps to YouTube, and it comes on. And then when my hotspot turns off, all that turns off. So I can turn it on and turn it off. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, what was your question for Frank?
Like does your security support that?
So a hotspot is basically just a little Wi-Fi transmitter. So it's kind of a temporary short-range Wi-Fi is what it's producing. It's getting Wi-Fi through your phone.
Yes. Does your your security, you offer the security, or did you say that you can get any security with that, with your TV or whatever you have? Do you get what I'm saying?
With a hotspot connection, you should be able to make a hotspot connection to your TV, and then on your TV do a system update so that you can get the update. You should be able to do that over a hotspot. So that should give you the latest updates. That should be fine if you're really not experiencing too much hacking or anything like that.
I'm not at all. I know one thing a couple times when I was watching something really good, like the ending of the movie, it shut off. They shut it off. They wouldn't let me see the ending of the movie. So
yeah, sometimes hotspots are a little less reliable than a regular connection. So not everything is hacking. Sometimes it is just a legitimate technical issue on its own. So you don't know. But if you're not experiencing a lot of hacking, then that's probably an okay approach to take. In general, for folks, if you have kind of a home internet service provider, a hardwired connection is going to be more secure, Ethernet connection. But if you're just kind of doing some limited internet like you and don't have hacking issues, then you can definitely get your system updates through a hotspot connection on your TV.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Deb K. Any other questions for Frank? Hey, it is now time to end the recording. Thank you for watching on your favorite platform or listening on Spotify. You can reach me at targetedwest.com. Send a message there. I'm available all the time, and I'll get back with you if you'd like to be interviewed, be on the call, or if you'd like to get questions answered from Frank and you don't have info and you want to talk to him, get a hold of me. TargetedWest.com. Thank you if you're on Spotify, bitchute. Now we're on Rumble. Thank you if you're watching there. We're on archive.org and YouTube. Anyway, thank you for watching the recording. Please like, subscribe, and make a comment. And it really helps the algorithm. Thank you.